shears, just like pow, pow,
Some
pow.
commotion for the mallet.
This is my weapon for the rest of the campaign.
Is that what's going to keep you safe?
Yes. I was going to say she could have gardening shears, but no, I want it to be my crab mallet.
Absolutely
You've got two
incredible.
hands, crab mallet in one hand, gardening shears in the other.
Secateurs would be very British. That would be very good.
Oh, it also came with these little things.
Or those little pokers to get it out of the legs. Yeah!
I am so ready to eat crab.
Bless.
Absolutely incredible. Chrissy, thank you so much for allowing me to do that. So, hi everyone, welcome. We are live from the apocalypse, and we are talking about eating crabs tonight. And weapons to defeat eldritch monsters.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're here.
It's all happening.
Can't you? Can't you though?
All happening. You know, I think I can. I think I can imagine it. I think we are there.
But can you experience it?
I think we're about to.
I think we're all going to experience it.
Correct.
Together.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we get into what is about to happen tonight, if you have never caught us before, that is a bit unfortunate because this is our finale of Shadows Between the Stacks, Harvest Echoes. The last of both tables, our 6th session of this mini campaign. But we are live from the apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that produces actual play content in the form of streams and podcasts. This is one of our Wildcard Wednesday games, and we do all of our streams to raise money for charities and progressive causes. Currently, we are raising money for Rainbow Railroad, and that is an organization that helps LGBT and especially currently trans people relocate from unsafe locations to safer ones. So at any point during the stream, you can hit the donate button. And while I do not offer incentives, that is incidentally where the subscribe button would be, but we've hidden that, and we'll tell you why. There's a lot of good reasons we've hidden that. But at any point, you can donate. We got a few donations the last few times, and that is going to be why what happens at the start of this session is what happens at the start of this session. Because, as I promised, donations will make things get more interesting and more chaotic. And that's exactly what's going to happen when we dive in. But we're not quite there yet, so that's okay. As I said, we've done what we can to hide the subscribe button. We cannot fully do that, but rather than giving money to Jeff Bezos, which we really don't want to do, you can just give that money directly to Rainbow Railroad. If you have, for instance, a Prime sub, you are welcome to use that to subscribe, but there are consequences. That consequence is beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill 1 dog for every month you have been subscribed. We lost 22 dogs last night. In fact, that was Will's fault. He was just telling us not to do that, and then he did that. The monster. I know. So the real question is, can you live with yourself? If you can, okay. But, you know, I don't think you're going to sleep so easy at night if you decide to make that choice. I'm just saying. And I think with that, before we dive in, we will let our lovely cast introduce themselves and their character for the last time. Alex, you are, as always, up first.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm at Mightiest Fin on Twitter and Mighty Fin on Blue Sky. I don't know what to say. I thought that when I was sowing all of the chaos in Table 1, I would reap nothing. And yet here I am, dealing with the consequences of my own actions. And I, for one, don't like it. I do. I'm going to be playing Bingley Keating tonight for the last time. Question mark? Let's see what happens. This is going to be...
Those were incredible noises.
Thank you. I've been practicing. I've been trying to figure out and articulate how I feel, and it's been a lot of.
Incredible.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Super fine.
It's gonna be so fine. In fact, tell us, Farah, just how fine it is going to be.
Oh my god, so fine. Hello, I am Farah Sarkaya. You can find me as Farakaya on all of the things, as well as at Crossroads Games, and I am playing Apples Reed, who just found her twin sister, her identical twin sister. So nothing could go wrong. Everything is great. Yeah.
That is very factual.
Yeah.
Alex looks suspicious, and I don't know why.
It's my sister, though. I don't know.
I've already
what this
taken
is
out one
for.
ghost, Apples. I'll take out another if I have to.
I will destroy you and the ridiculous Converse outfit that you walked in on.
This is
So-
how Bingley dies.
Yeah.
Great.
So you want to step up?
Listen.
JD isn't gonna have to do anything. It's gonna be PvP this time, actually.
I have a surprising strength because Apples is an artist. So I will crush you.
Yeah, well, if you can catch me, I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Christ.
Starting as we mean to go on. I love it.
Incredible. I may not have to do anything. Just gonna toss the notes out, and we'll see what this lovely cast of characters decides. And speaking of unhinged behavior, Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm the local Delaware cryptid. Tonight I am playing Holly Haley Hollis, who is, just a budding forensic science student who happens to be the descendant of the first murder victim from 100 years ago, and she takes that personally. And you know what? She doesn't really care who she has to step on to get that dealt with. So, nothing to worry about there. Nothing for her friends to worry about at all.
No, you certainly did not willingly murder your best friend last episode. But that might not have happened, so it's
That
fine.
was, if it happened, it was a mercy killing.
That is a sentence to say. Incredible. Kit.
It happens to the best of us. I mean, who among us hasn't tortured a Hi, I'm Kit. You can find me places on the internet. At the old one at Kit Roll Cause, at the new one at Kit Roll. I got my branding back. We're working on it. Crush it. I will be Darcy for the evening, the other half of your terrible twin duo. We'll see if both halves survive the evening. It'll be great. Probably. I'm not scared, you're scared.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, and I can only imagine, like, the horrors you're describing.
Incredible. I'm not going to repeat anything I said because I
Great,
just
cool,
want to leave
awesome,
it to your imagination.
Fun. This is great. I'm in danger, guys.
And last but not least, Chrissy.
Oh, hi. I'm Chrissy and Keller on all the fun internet spaces. And I am Maeve. Did we announce her last name last time? I can't remember. No. Okay. Cool. I am Maeve, the local poison aficionado. And, potential devil's deal maker. We'll see. And yeah, that is me. That is Maeve, and I am so nervous.
And I am JD, and nobody trusts me when I say that everything's gonna be absolutely fine. So fine, totally fine.
That's because we know that when you say you're fine, you're lying. So we know
That's
what's
when
happening.
I say that I'm fine. That's when I say that I or my characters are fine. Why would I lie to you?
For reasons of plot and drama.
You know what? That's fair. That is definitely fair. And I think with that, we are going to jump right in. Before we dive in, there are no new content warnings that have not come up before. But as a reminder, some of the content warnings of this game, as this is Call of Cthulhu, include murder, sacrifice, religion, ghosts and hauntings, gore, the aftermath of burning and drowning, ritualistic murder, bodies falling from great heights, body horror, manipulation, and reality questioning on a cosmic level is still relevant for this session. Possible torture / references to torture that has happened, and I guess it doesn't need to be added really as a content warning, but emotional damage. So that is what we have on the table for tonight. If at any point you are feeling uncomfortable with the subject matter, we of course encourage you to step away, as this is a horror game and the content may not be for everyone. And we would rather you take care of yourself than push yourself through something that does not feel okay to be watching. If you have come with us so far, I do not think anything more horrifying than anything that has happened will happen. But just putting that out there. Yeah, we are going to dive into this finale. Things are going to start to develop pretty quickly. And so when we left our wonderful, wonderful group, they had all gotten lost in a corn maze made of glass and had a variety of unusual experiences while in there, from seeing their crush get stabbed with a rack of too many antlers, to finding our dead twin sister who has aged up to be the same age that we are, to torturing and then killing our best friend in order to get information, to, let's see, what else happened? Well, Bingley, you watched your twin get attacked and mauled by a twisted creature, but you got them out of there, so that didn't go as badly as it could have. And of course, Maeve saw her parents once again, and her parents had some choice words for her, but your new ghost friend got you out of there, only to be murdered by Bingley as soon as you stepped outside, right after a body fell from a cathedral. You all ran from that. Well, I think you more walked. You were surprisingly casual about that, but you decided that you wanted to find Craig because you had lost him in the corn maze, and you wanted to make sure that he was okay. And so that is where we start. We start with 5 of you, 6 of you, including Clem, who at this point, only Apples and Bingley are able to see. The campus is surprisingly quiet, though maybe not surprisingly quiet when you glance at your phones and realize it's midnight and you lost a whole lot of time in that corn maze. It's even less surprising that the campus is quiet when you see that while you were in the corn maze, probably at least, judging by the timestamp, that the school has enforced a curfew. In fact, the whole town has enforced a curfew, which means things are very deserted across the board as you are making your way back. And there is a low-hanging mist over the grass as you make your way towards the dorm, step inside, and it almost feels empty. Like you expect other students to be hanging out in the study rooms, to be moving around the halls. It's not as though you were given the message, at least, that you had to remain in your dorms. It was more, don't be out and about during this time. But there's no music, There's no sound of talking. There's no sound of televisions on. It's uncomfortably silent and still. Now, I'm assuming we are all heading towards Bingley's room. Check on Craig. And so, Bingley, I'm going to ask, do you just reach for the door handle, or do you go to unlock it?
Why would you ask that, JD? Is the door open? Or is it ajar? Or is it closed?
It is closed.
I am concerned about Craig's well-being, so I'm going to just open that door.
The door opens.
Good?
I don't know why you sound so suspicious. The door opens,
Hmm?
and it's almost as though something glitches. Almost like we're watching this on a screen. And it turns to static in a way that, well, even screens these days don't usually turn to static. And it comes back in with the green tint of night vision cameras. And we see laid out before us the basement of the library. And the camera just slowly pans around, showing us the different bookcases, showing us those movable bookcases that can be compressed all together or opened like an accordion. And we hear Bingley talking. And Bingley is saying, in a very authoritative voice, now there's plenty of urban legends about the basement, in fact, about the whole library, about the ghosts that haunt it, especially the ghosts of some of the missing. And the camera pans over to Bingley to show him doing air quotations, missing students. Now, I have it on good authority of who some of those ghosts are. And we are going to get evidence that they are here, and we are going to communicate with them tonight. And then we hear Darcy sigh and say, Bingley, ghosts aren't real. I don't care what stories our grandfather told us. There is nothing supernatural in this library. And that is what we are going to prove tonight. And the camera pans over to them, leaning against the wall, looking as bored as they could possibly be. I'm now going to let the two of you take control of your characters, as you are on a ghost hunting mission for a reality television show in the basement of the university library.
Darcy, can you stop breathing so loud? I think I'm picking it up.
No, I'm trying to give you a Foley. You're not going to catch anything else.
Haha, very funny. Sally, we know that you and your friend Peggy are missing. I'm pretty sure you're here. And then I think Bingley had some things with him.
Of course. Oh, yes, you do.
One of them is a notebook, a fresh, crisp notebook, and a pen. And the other is a juice box that he has already, put the straw in and left out. He's like, Sally, if you're there, would you care to make a note or have a swig of the apple. It's all for you. Peggy can have some too if she's thirsty.
We gotta take that again. You can't
What?
just say take a swig of the apple. You can't. That's nothing.
It's apple juice,
Bing.
Darcy.
Then say it with your mouth words.
Fine. Sally, if you're there, would you care to make a note in this notebook or take a swig of the apple juice? Peggy,
it's
you're
just gonna
welcome
sound
to as
goofy.
well. Sound goofy.
It's just gonna sound goofy because it sounds like you're making a joke, and they're not gonna see the joke in the final cut. I mean, they could see the joke in the final cut.
It's not a joke at all. I'm just talking about the apple juice.
Right.
And your cameraman, who, as you look over, you realize is Craig, kind of moves the camera off to the side from where it's resting on his shoulder and is like, Bingley, do you wanna take that again? Like third
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, all right, Craig. I think that
Knuckles.
Craig, I think that might be a good idea, Craig. Should I just say juice? Does it need to be apples juice?
I think that's what's throwing me.
Right.
Is that we know somebody. It's called apples. You say
Okay.
take a swig of the apples. It feels weird, right? You don't see it.
I do have some prune.
Do what you want.
Okay. So then Bingley takes the apple juice, drinks it, and puts down prune juice.
Okay.
All right, take 3. Sally, if you're here, you want to make a note or take a swig of the prune juice, it's all for you, and Peggy can have some if they want some too. Okay.
And Craig looks over at Darcy, kind of questioningly, like, is that the... Okay. And so, Bingley, you drank all of the apple juice?
Well, I had one juice box, yes.
All half ounce of it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Now, I am not big, so it's, more substantial for a person of my stature.
You can't call yourself
Interesting.
short because then you're calling me short, and that's just uncalled for.
But we are short, Darcy.
You don't have to say it.
No problem with being a short king.
Lord.
And
Oh,
Craig
alright.
just looks at you and goes, should I still be filming this?
Oh,
You're
shit.
fine, we'll cut it
no,
in post.
no. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Whatever. Cut
Well, I
it.
mean, the studio says the cameras keep rolling the entire time.
Yeah, no, they'll cut it in post, or they won't cut it in post. Fuck. We're doing a comedy bit here. It'll be good.
It's not a
good banter.
comedy bit, Darcy.
Right.
This is a serious business.
Right.
Grandpa Ross said Peggy had no skin.
Did he now?
Yes.
How you reckon that worked?
Well, she was dead and all of her skin was
Right.
removed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a damn unpleasant way to live your afterlife. Can't
So you
put
say
on
the word live and afterlife? You say them together like that? Sounds a bit redundant.
I don't think so. Imagine not being able to put on a ghostly sweater. Because all the fibers are interacting with your exposed musculature.
Just like got it, just a head in their hands, just looking over at Craig like, you're getting this, right? Like, you're good. You're good.
And
Okay.
Craig just gives you a thumbs up. And
Thank you.
that is the moment when there is a wet thud against the wall. And you look down and you realize that juice box was just thrown.
Craig, did you get that?
No, I was focusing on you and Darcy.
Glory be, Craig, you're useless. Sally or Peggy, do you not like the prune juice? If you don't like the prune juice, and he's like opening up the notebook, if you'd prefer a different type, could you tell us, please?
Darcy's just looking around in the shadows because surely Bingley has hired some friend, somebody of the group, to like come do goofs, come throw juice boxes, like try to just like not try to ruin the shot, but like try to get a peek of who it is.
And Darcy, your attention is definitely pulled away from the situation at hand because those bookcases are moving.
Careful though, those things move if you bump into them. Don't wanna give up your location there. Hun.
What?
Just sort of like looks at Bingley like, try. Go walk over to it.
And as you walk over, you realize, I mean, all of these are controlled by a wheel. Like if they are being moved, someone is moving them. And that's not someone on the end that you're standing on.
Darcy, what's going on?
I think I found your little plant.
Sorry, what?
I hate this, but Darcy would walk through the bookcases, go to the other end.
Oh, okay.
Incredible.
I don't like that smile that just lit up on Sadie's face. Don't like it one bit.
I can't in good conscience say that they wouldn't, is the thing.
You know,
You almost had me there, bro.
I think in that case, I would like you to roll dexterity. Just straight dexterity.
Just, okay. All right. A bold choice. So here's the thing. Here's the thing, JD. Is that I have a really pretty good dex, right? Like a pretty baller dex. That's still 98 over 65.
No.
So,
no.
Squash.
So like, here's the do I have enough luck? Hold on.
Is this
Do
a
I
roll that
have
could be pushed?
I was going to say this is a roll that could be pushed.
If I push it, I can't spend luck though. Like if I push it and I mess it up, I'm just screwed, right?
Correct. And in this case, if you push it, you're probably going to trip and fall.
Well, there aren't books at that level, Darcy. You see,
Yeah, there's still a bottom shelf, right?
You'd only be getting crushed by steel, not knowledge.
Go to your room.
Sorry. I'll see myself out.
Do I want it? I'll push it. Fuck it. feels appropriate. That's a 5 under 65. So that is under
incredible.
my 5th.
Yes, no, that is beautiful, and we love
the
it
two
when
genders.
That happens.
A 98.
Correct.
Holy shit! All right.
Certain death or utter freedom.
The two genders. You heard it here first, folks.
And so, Darcy, you are walking through as the bookcases start to close in on you. But like you said earlier, you're fast and you take off running. I don't think you're initially particularly scared because this is just somebody that Bingley asked to do him a favor, fucking with you. Like they wouldn't actually do something to hurt you.
Probably Triple H doing a goof.
Exact. That might not be the best person to think might be doing this. I'm just saying, but no, I mean it's fine.
No, because she'd almost do it. Is the thing. She'd almost do it. She'd make you think.
And you do. I mean, it is getting tight, and by the time you make it to the other side, the edges are just brushing your sleeves. But nobody's standing there.
Darcy just like slips through, like the edge of their sweater catches, like, Jesus Christ. Okay, where'd you go? All right, come on. It was cute. It was cute. It was funny. The fuck are you? Just like scanning the aisles.
And I'm not even going to make you do a spot hidden because there is nobody there. And Bingley, you just heard the sounds of your twin almost get crushed between these stacks.
Craig, did you hear that?
Yeah. Should we go check on them?
I don't know. I'm very focused on this juice situation. Okay, here's what I'd like you to do, Craig. I'd like you to film this notebook. Don't take the camera off of it, and I will be right back.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. This notebook.
The notebook right in front of you, Craig.
Cool. Yeah, I could do that.
Wonderful. Then I'm going to run over to where Darcy is. Why are you fucking around with the stacks?
Why am I fucking around? Why? All right, who'd you bring on board for the effects?
There's nobody
Right.
for effects, Darcy. It's you, me, and Craig.
Oh, lay off. The bookshelves just don't fucking move. Bing.
There are ghosts down here, Darcy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I think I have like a little like range thermometer to check for cold spots and an EMF
please, no.
reader.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ping the wheel and like do a scan to see if my EMF reader goes crazy.
I actually think in this instance, Bingley, there's this really weird moment where those are the items you expect to be in your hand, and instead you look down and you have a spirit box in one hand and one of those pieces of mapping technology in the other.
Darcy, did you bring these?
Did I bring... What is that thing?
This is a spirit box.
No, the other...
This is a piece of mapping technology. I assume it's one of those things that suspends the pencil and then it can move around.
Correct.
Okay. It's like a Ouija board, but you know.
But weirder somehow?
Right. It's not simply just letters and yes and no's. It can be a bit more expansive.
Bing, I've never seen that shit in my life. Where'd you get that?
Darcy, actually, you realize you have, because this is what your
Take it
brother always brings when you're out on these. This is your return to the university. You've been doing this ghost hunting show for years.
What do you mean, did I pack that? You packed that. You always pack that.
I don't remember packing it. Maybe it was Craig. Craig!
Yeah?
Did you pack these?
I don't know what these are, but probably.
The spirit box and the mapping technology. I don't remember the word for it, I'm sorry.
That's your gear, right?
Right. Yes, Craig.
Yeah, so I packed it because I packed your gear.
Okay.
He's been packing this. He's been packing those things for years. Bing.
Right. I'm sorry. I was a little discombobulated there. I thought I had a little EMF reader. Haven't used one of them in decades. Foolish. All right. Tell you what. Let's use these to see if we can talk to Sally. Or Peggy.
Your juice box didn't work.
No, the juice box, well, it was rejected. I don't know if they like fruity drinks. Perhaps perhaps milk next time. A seltzer, maybe.
And
Go on.
that is when the spirit box crackles on.
Oh.
But we're going to pause right there. And we're going to move over to a very different scenario. We're going to open up on a bright and sunny and colorful kitchen. It is, well, I would actually like Apples to tell me, what would your dream kitchen look like?
Apple's Dream Kitchen it's like old-fashioned British cottage kind of kitchen. So there's like the big old-fashioned fridge, icebox situation, gas stove looking out into like this cute little English garden. Um it's a little cramped, but there's like a teapot and teacups hanging up on the top, and there's a little fireplace with a hearth. And all over you can see her art has been she's painted murals, she's painted the brick, she's done like crazy elaborate backsplash with tile. Like this is the house of an artist. Like beside the stove, there's a thing of cutlery, and then there's a thing of paintbrushes. Like it is aggressively artistic, but just cozy chaos.
Beautiful. And we open on that, and you walk in. It's morning. You go, I would imagine, to put the tea kettle on.
Yeah, coffee's for university. I drink tea at home.
Exactly. And Clem walks in. And she looks normal. She looks fine. And she just gazes around and smiles.
I'm making a pot. Do you want it? I think we have biscuits from yesterday.
Yes, a pot of tea sounds lovely.
I'll busy myself making tea properly, which I have opinions on.
And you make it, and Clem takes a cup. She walks over and is gazing out at the garden outside the window. And she takes a sip, and the tea just spills through her onto the floor. And she looks down and says, "Seems like I forgot I was dead." And then there's a laugh track that plays.
Don't worry, darling. I can mop it up. Maybe try it over on the canvas that's out in the garden. It'll create some interesting splashes.
I love the way you think about art. And your sister walks out, and as she walks out, Craig walks in and says, watches her walk out, looks over at you, Apples, and says, "Are you doing some more tea painting?"
It helps her feel more involved, you know. Come on.
Well, yeah, we wouldn't want her to feel like a ghost.
Of course not. It's got to be hard enough haunting this dreary old place. Try to make it homey, but there's only so much I can do.
And then things start to feel a little bit different, because this has been so lighthearted, and Clem has been smiling, and Craig has been smiling, and that laugh track keeps playing. And it doesn't stop playing. It doesn't stop playing. And Craig tilts his head and looks at you and says, but this isn't supposed to be funny, is it?
Wait, if horror and comedy are two sides of the same coin, perhaps if we really just focus on the funny bits, we don't have to worry about that. She's here. That's all that matters. We don't have to worry about it.
And how long is she gonna stay here, Apples? How long can she stay here? How long can you stay here?
Does it matter if we're together?
I don't know. Does it?
Stop being so contrary, Craig. I mean, you would never want to wax philosophical. We can keep going. We can keep going, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine, Craig. And if you don't want to be here, that's fine. I'm sure Darcy would love to see you, and I can stay here with Clementine. It'll be just fine.
And is that what you want? Do you want to stay here?
I mean, I'd rather her come back with me, I suppose. Mother and Father would probably want to see her. But, I mean, it's not so bad, is it? Could be worse.
I think you're safest here, Apples. And I don't want you to lose Clem. Not again.
Exactly. That's exactly right, Craig. You hit it on the head. I'm safe here. Nothing bad can happen. And I'll never have to lose her again.
And Craig stares at you intently. And that is where we then cut to a door that is opening, and it is opening into a room that is set up like a mixture of small library and armory. And we pan over the walls, seeing an array of weapons and other tools like holy water, crosses, stakes, salt, all of that type of stuff. And we see once again a familiar figure, but Craig looks different. He is dressed in a button down and sweater, and he is holding a book in his hands. And you have never seen the man hold a book in his hands a single day in his life. I think the one time you did, it was upside down. So you see that, and Maeve, you and Holly walk in, and he shuts the book, stands up, and says, "Good. I've been waiting for the two of you to arrive. We don't have much time. We need to act fast. Are the two of you ready?"
Oh, was that a book?
Yes, I was reading up on ritual sacrifice.
Interesting interest you have there.
It's an interest that we all share. We need to deal with the situation at hand. A body has been found.
Just one?
Just one.
Slow day.
You're right. And we want to keep it that way, which means we need to get there, and we need to get there fast.
All right, well, where was it found and who found it?
It was found in a field. Who found it? An anonymous call to the police. They called me. I called you. Do the two of you have the supplies that you need?
Generally, but if you have anything new.
I mean, I can always give both of you new toys, but I'm not sure what will be the most helpful at this moment. I mean, you've both been practicing, right? Maeve, I mean, your control over plants is incredible. And Holly, I mean, your ability to use telepathy.
Yes, I've absolutely been practicing. I can grow a whole tree just like that now. Probably should wait till we're outside, of course, though.
Yes, please do not destroy anything in here. I'm not sure how useful that's going to be at this moment, but who knows?
I mean, it's a field. There are assumably plants in the field. Do you have a name for us, or do we have to go get that ourselves too?
I'm going to be dealing with that while you are going to investigate. We'll meet back here, we'll form a plan of action, figure out what did this and what we need to do to take care of it.
All right, Captain.
Ew.
That was
Ew.
He's
weird.
awful
Don't do it
bossy.
again. I'm just Craig. It's fine. And he gives you an address.
I'm gonna head out with Maeve, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know why he's always like, what did this? If it's a ritual, it's probably a human being. The what did this is the why did they do this? As in, what monster did they want to talk to this time?
It's never the interesting ones.
Well, no.
People in this town have no imagination.
If I have to deal with another vampire, I swear to God, I'm gonna stab myself.
Just, I think we've come across like what, 3 demons this year? Like, come on, a little originality.
They're not even from any of the like lower, more obscure circles of hell.
Mm-mm.
They're all so surface level. Nobody knows how to commit anymore. Nobody really knows what it means to sacrifice.
Nope. Like, you really gotta feel that wrath.
Or you just really gotta want it.
Well, shall we?
Yes, but we're listening to the Veronicas in the car.
You don't have to tell me twice.
And so the two of you have a very familiar drive because you've been to this field before. But it's strange because you know you've been here before, but this is also the first time. And that's also strange because, well, as you were just talking about, you live in this town. And you make it to the field on the outskirts of it. And much like Craig said, there is a body out there.
They didn't even come
It
pick it up or anything.
has not been touched, has not been moved, has not even been like cordoned off by any sort of law enforcement. It is just right there as though it's waiting for you.
Well, I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna kneel down and I'm going to attempt to speak to the plants.
I'm not going to make you roll anything for that. I am going to ask Holly an interesting question, and that is, does Maeve know what Marie looks like?
No.
Okay. And so, Maeve, you kneel down, you press a hand to the ground, and you go to commune with the grass. And it isn't, of course, words that you get, but impressions. And you feel the weight of the body pressing down on the grass beneath it. You hear words chanted, and you recognize them. They're in Latin. You've heard this sort of thing before. But the ritual doesn't make sense. You're not entirely sure what is being asked for here because you're thinking, I mean, much like you said, gonna be another one of these demon summoning rituals, but you keep getting the phrase, the many antlered lord.
Do I recognize that here or no?
Nope, that means nothing to you.
I'm gonna stand up. Do you recognize the phrase, the mini antlered lord?
I don't know, JD. Do I?
Nope. But you do recognize the body that's there. And you do recognize the wounds on it. And you remember making those wounds yourself.
I think Holly just kind of like, Maeve looks up. Holly's just like walking in a slow circle around the body, just like looking down at it.
You okay?
I'm fine.
Mini antlered lord, are you familiar?
No, I'm not, but I would assume it has many antlers. And I would presume something related to a creature with horns, something like that. I imagine this would have been bloodier.
I wonder if she was brought here long after she passed. That's why there's no blood. Looks like she was mutilated.
Stabbed once. Right here.
Those
Let's see.
investigative skills coming in handy, huh?
If you want it to be fast and quick, that's where you would stab someone. That's mercy.
The fact that you know this would be so unsettling if I weren't also the type of person to know how to kill someone quickly. Instead, I just find it very intriguing. Hmm. Well, at least they weren't calling for a typical demon. Things might get a little interesting with this.
It'll be unique, that's for sure.
Can you tell how long she's been dead for?
That's an interesting thought. JD, if I roll forensics, can I tell how long it's been since this person died?
Mm-hmm. Please do. We love dice rolls.
It is a 27 under 70.
Incredible. And so, yes. You are studying the body. You are looking for the signs, the rigidity, the blood pooling. And you can tell that this must have happened in the past 4 hours. And of course it did, because you did it. And you brought the body here.
Holly kind of sits back on her heels, drops her chin in her hand. Very recent. It's fairly cold.
Well, maybe Craig will know something about this mini antler lord.
And
I'll call her family.
Maeve, as Holly says that, as she says, we'll call the family, the grass beneath you almost like tenses. And you don't even mean to do it. You aren't intending for this. But your entire body goes on high alert and panic. And even though you are in the center of the field, there are certainly some wilder plants around you. Most of those are on the outskirts. It's like a rush of vines and branches moving across to meet you, to get in between you and Holly. And you realize that the earth itself is afraid of her. And we're going to pause right there on you. And we're going to move back to the twins and what's going on down in the basement of the library.
You can keep going. Just keep
No,
going.
if you want to, I mean, if you want to keep doing what you do, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
No.
cool. That's fine.
They're not the only twins in this cast anymore.
That is
like,
true.
You got to be specific about your twins,
Yeah.
JD.
Right, the
the
basement
identical
twins.
or the other ones.
Right. Okay.
Yes, the basement
Oops, all
twins.
twins.
The
Oops.
basement twins instead of the cottage twins.
Okay.
Distinction.
So we're getting the spirit box out, and we're clearing the space in the
Mhm.
basement floor, and I'm going to try and commune with Sally or Peggy or whomever happens to be here.
And everybody has their own style. So, Bingley, are you still asking questions, or are you just letting the spirit box run and seeing what happens?
To think that Bingley would not want to be in complete control of the situation is, I don't want to say foolish, but the lad has control issues. So we will be asking questions of the box in the room.
What question do you start off with?
What was wrong with the juice?
What I was going to ask also.
Thank you. Sit, twin brain. We've got this.
And the spirit box is cycling through, and you hear the snippets of the words, wrong type.
I knew it.
Darcy,
Grandpa Ross never said what she drank. He just said it was boxes of juice.
Darcy sighs and pulls out their phone because he's going to want footage of this. And like, nothing's better than shaky cam footage, right? So just clicks on the camera.
I mean, it's a good thing Craig's here. Steady as a rock, Craig.
Yeah, I thought Craig was over on the other. Craig was over on the bench.
Craig
Didn't you tell him
should
to
be
watch the
filming
notebook?
this. Craig
Told
should
him
be
to watch the
filming this.
notebook.
Do you
Craig-
want me to be filming this, or do you want me to film the paper?
Craig, are you still filming the paper?
Yeah, you told me to.
Good God,
He's
man,
creative
get over
direction.
here.
Okay,
Great
so
directions,
stop
babe.
filming. Stop filming the paper.
Correct. Come film this box.
And Craig comes over.
Bless you.
Click.
Which kind of juice would you prefer?
And what comes through next are the words, not important.
Oh,
And
probably because you're dead.
Get out.
Oh, are you talking
Okay.
about the Jordan Peele classic? Get Out. Fantastic film.
Get out.
Well, you don't need to tell me twice. He says after having been told twice.
Yes, I did.
It's a saucy ghost. All right. Thank you for your time. I don't. This is fascinating, but and he's like starting to shake. Darcy, I think we should leave. I think the
Right.
ghost box is right.
Darcy like totally doesn't buy it, but is like, all right, let's ham it up for the camera. Yeah, no, we should I don't make him tell you a third.
No, 'twould be foolish. Craig, can you cut it and get us packed and we'll get out of here?
And Craig is lowering the camera as the spirit box, which you think you've turned off, but apparently you haven't, because the words "stay away from the pit" come through.
You turn
What
that thing
pit?
off. We're trying to pack up.
I thought I turned it off. What pit? Sorry, curiosity.
The one with the bodies.
Very helpful. Okay. Great. Can I make an idea roll to see if I remember any Grandpa Ross stories about a pit filled with bodies?
Please do.
Great. You know the old man. He had all kinds of stories about pits and bodies.
Just a
Body
casual.
pits.
Just a
you
casual.
know.
Who among us?
All the
Well-
bodies hit the floor.
All right. Well, that is a 66 under 80.
I think it's, very fair to say that you recall that conversation about the crumbling ruins and that final confrontation and the pit that was there.
I want to go to the pit.
You're an
pit.
idiot.
I'm sorry, who said that? Was that you, Craig? Or was that the box?
And Craig points towards the box.
Who are you? What do you know about the pit? Like, he's like walking with the box. He's like trying to leave, but his feet are just dragging.
Darcy's packing up and trying to stay behind Craig a pace because they are cracking up and cannot like keep a straight face, and they don't want to ruin the shot for Bing. But they're like, this is hilarious. I don't know who's on the other end of this box, but this is funny as hell.
And the response that comes through is just in choppy, of course, broken up words. Do you want to lose your skin too?
Hello,
And-
Peggy. Goodbye,
and-
Peggy.
And at that point, as the two of you and Craig are attempting to get out of the basement of the library, things glitch once again, and everything goes black around you. We're going to go back to the cottage twins. And the lovely moment that Apples is sharing with Craig as her twin is outside creating art out of tea.
Love it. Look, if you've got to be negative about this whole thing, then you go back and I'll just go out with her and we'll make art and it'll be wonderful. But where else would I go? You don't seem like yourself.
Who do I seem like?
Listen, Craig, you're a beautiful structure of a man. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely, 10 out of 10. I could paint you all day, every day for the rest of my life. However,
I know you have.
yes, and you do a great job. But you've never been the academic sort, and I appreciate that about you, if I'm honest. But are you... Something seems weird. Something seems wrong.
I mean, of course things seem weird. Your sister's a ghost.
Cue the laugh track.
It never stopped. How can we cue something that hasn't stopped?
Craig, I need you to not bring logic into this. I have to stop bringing logic into this. She's here. She's here. She seems happy, right? She does, doesn't she?
She seems very happy. Yeah.
Then who would I be to take that away?
You could just stay here.
I could, couldn't I? She looks out in the garden where her sister is. Would you stay? Whatever you are.
Would you want me to?
I mean, I suppose it would be strange just being the two of us forever. Craig was always nice. Don't know if you're nice, but you seem all right. Maybe I don't... I really need to go back.
I mean, if you don't go back, what's the worst that would happen?
Honestly, I'm not sure there is. I can do art here just as well as I can do it there. But here, she's here. So. Do I still have like the memories of all of my friends and stuff? Like, how far is this delusion sticking?
I think I'm going to debating what role I want to make this because there's a few different stats I'm considering.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just going to have you make a luck roll in this case.
That's a 50-50 shot, my friends. Let's see how that goes. Wow. That's a 26. Under 50. Oh.
Hey.
You do remember your friends, and you realize how wrong this is. Like, you remember it was just a few minutes ago that you were walking into the dorm with them.
Shit. Can I at least say goodbye first before I leave her again? Or is there no time?
And Craig looks at you, and you have never seen him look this serious. And he stares you dead in the eye and says, Apples, if you go back, you're going to lose her.
I would like to make a sanity check.
I would love for you to do
Yeah,
that.
that feels.
I think
that
that is
feels
very
right.
fair. I
That
think that
feels
is
like
very
right.
fair.
That is a 74 over 58.
That's
So
not great. That's going to be
it's
3
not
points
great.
of sanity
It's not-
loss.
Yep. Why did I do this to myself? Why?
I love it
I
when
know
players
why.
volunteer to make
I
rolls.
know why. I brought her out last time, though. Can't I bring her out again? I brought her to the wherever we landed, a church, I guess.
That all depends on what happens next.
What happens next?
Depends on what you and your friends decide to do. Because the cracks that have opened that let Clem through, those are closed. She's gone.
So what you're saying is I have to stop them from closing them to keep her.
Yes.
Right. Right. Who are you? Can you tell me that?
And he laughs and looks at you and says, I'm Craig. And that's where we're going to Maeve and Holly.
Holly?
Maeve,
What did you do?
I think that is the question, JD. So you said I didn't recognize the name, the Many Antlered Lord.
Correct.
If that's the case, then what memory do I have for why I did this?
You're remembering what you did in the interrogation room. And you remember laying the body out here, but you don't remember any ritual that went along with it. And I will say, Maeve, you heard the voice, but it did not sound like Holly. Like you didn't recognize Holly's voice chanting the Latin, though you have heard Holly say phrases in Latin before. Usually during exorcisms. It's fine.
That's what it's for. That's why I know it. It's fine. My plants are afraid of you. I mean, they should be. That's valid. But what did you do?
And Holly kind of stands up from where she was crouched. So she is of a height with Maeve. She says, funnily enough, not a ritual sacrifice. But I did kill Marie.
Is that who?
This is? Yes.
Why?
There is information that you cannot get from books. But information that you need are going to stand and be a gate
A gate?
Yes.
Wait, for what?
We don't just put things back, Maeve. We also try to stop them from coming through. We have to keep the things on the other side of the gate out.
So, are you saying you want to be a gate to stop things from coming in?
I am a gate, Maeve.
So, how do we make sure you stay shut?
Well, for that, I guess we do need to speak to Giles about this particular instance. I don't think it's a coincidence that this field is popular for rituals and body drops.
Okay. Um, do you plan to stab me?
Only if you give me a reason to, Maeve.
I will do my best to prevent that.
And that is the moment where, for the two of you, the world around you starts to glitch. And we're going to go back one more time to the cottage. Apples. It's as though you blink, because one moment Craig is there and the next he is gone. But you
Oh.
can still hear Clem laughing delightedly out in the garden.
And that's where I go.
And she has been dancing around, letting the tea just flow through her, and gestures down and says, "Isn't it beautiful?" But it is beautiful in a way. It's also made apparently of blood, but it's beautiful in a way.
It's wonderful. My darling Clementine. I think there's a way that we can keep you forever, if that's something you want. But I have to stop them closing whatever lines are between here and the real world, whatever that means. I don't want to lose you. Not again.
And Clementine stops dancing around and reaches out and takes one of your hands in each of hers. And she looks so sad. And she says, "I don't want to go away again, Apples. I don't want to live life beside you without you ever seeing me. I don't want you to forget me like you did before."
I won't listen to them this time. I won't listen to their lies that you weren't there. I swear it. On everything. Clementine, I swear it. I will never forget you again.
Promise?
I promise. You're my other half. I'm nothing without you.
I don't ever want to be separated from you again.
We don't have to. Come with me, I stop them from closing whatever that thing is, and then we'll be together forever.
I like the sound of that.
Come on, I don't know how to get us back, but we can do it together. I know we can.
And Clementine squeezes your hands and says, I know, Apples. I know we can do anything we want together. And that is when the world around the two of you fractures apart, and the six of you find yourselves standing in the ruins of an old castle. You are standing in the courtyard. There is a pit not too far away in front of you. And up above you, there are two figures. One in a robe with antlers stretching out above their head, and the other cowering in fear as the figure approaches them. And that is where we are going to take our 10-minute break and see what choices our players make as we move into the final half of this story. So don't go anywhere. I'm probably going to be murdered off screen in 2 seconds. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the exciting conclusion of Shadows Between the Stacks.
Spines are bullshit.
The fucking
I can confirm. Spines are bullshit.
and knees are bullshit. I got that fucking
Yes.
floating patella shit. What the
Ugh.
fuck is that?
All
I have-
joints
Oh my
are
God.
All
bullshit.
joints.
I'll
Yes.
say it. I'll go on record. Yes, I know.
Not even
When
one
you get to
joint.
the point you have to
Not even
jail your
one.
bones, it like upsetting.
Yeah.
It's what are you? And I mean, we're like what in our 20s and 30s. This is bullshit. This is
Yeah.
bullshit.
I've been walking
I
like a
want a
granny
refund on
since
these.
2015, man.
These guys. Hello.
Nobody. I don't feel like any adult in my life properly prepared me for how quickly I started feeling old as soon as I turned like. I say 30, it started happening at about 28, but 30
Yep.
is whenever it really just hauled off and smacked me across the face with every bit of the strength that it has.
My dad did, but only because he's got all this weird fucked up shit going on with his genetics. My dad's allergic to soap. Did you know that's something you could be allergic to?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Horrific.
Did you know
Unfortunately.
you can be allergic to everything sometimes?
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's a mood.
Super fun and I love it.
Oh.
I have a hard time believing in a higher power creator because they fucked up making bodies just in general.
Intelligent design?
They failed.
Body's bad.
Yeah. Who the fuck assembled this thing?
Some
Talk about
IKEA
planned
part got left
obsolescence.
out.
My thumbs haven't grown since kindergarten. I would like to speak to the manufacturer.
I don't think I've grown since kindergarten, if I'm honest.
I stopped at 12, and that was it. 5'2". You got nothing. My cousins,
Yeah.
my female cousins are 6 foot something, and I got stuck with 5'2". It's nonsense.
It's true.
And
Wait,
the worst
You
part
get
is
tall person vibes. I would have
It's
never
true.
pictured you to be shorter than me.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm a wee person.
none of us are under warranty anymore.
No,
No.
it expired.
So true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And I mean, I was going to say, speaking of eldritch powers that created the human body, let's jump right back in.
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that
Yeah,
segue.
no.
I love
Mm.
it. Let's go.
Listen, everything's fine. Everything's great. Everything is actually really not fine, and it's really not great, if I'm going to be honest with all of you, because,
J'accuse.
yeah.
JD, even my cat's trying to leave at hearing this.
We missed our scavenger
it's
hunt
okay,
and
you're okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Our night's
You
been
did.
ruined.
I know, it's tragic. It is
Not like
a
20
lot
minutes
has
of an art
happened,
show. Come on.
but
Yep.
you did see Apple's work, and that's
True.
really what you came there for.
It's true.
Sure.
So
God
you
damn
were,
it, Bingley.
Can you be nice for 5 minutes, Bingley?
No.
and this is why PvP is going to happen.
So true.
I'm sorry, what?
It's gonna be twin on twin violence. I swear to God.
And
Me
so
too.
these 6 of you, and by the 6 of you, since I did get that question, I do mean the 5 of you and Clementine, which, again, Bingley and Apples are the only 2 who can see her. You're standing there, probably not as far as you would like to be away from the pit, because it doesn't have great energy radiating from it, but that honestly is the least of your concerns, because as you are looking up at the 2 figures up on the battlements, even they pale in comparison to what else is happening around you. And it isn't just, as Darcy and Bingley might remember their grandfather Ross telling them, it isn't just that the moon is red in a way that it shouldn't be. It isn't even that the stars seem to be falling from the skies. It's that the world around you is cracking. The castle where you are standing is the sturdiest part of anything around you. The forest looks like it was some sort of photograph and the glass case around it was shattered. It is jagged, it is uneven, reality is splintering. What would you all like to do?
Who are the 2 figures, JD?
You really can't tell from where you're standing,
You sure about
because one of them is crouched and partially hidden behind the parts of the battlements that are still intact. The other is standing, but they are in a robe and have horns atop their head.
Would you say that those horns would be, I don't know, antler shaped and perhaps too many of them?
Yes, I was gonna say many.
Many of them?
Not too many of them, but antler shaped, yes.
So like less than the ones that I saw through Craig.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What you saw through Craig was like quadruple the amount that you're seeing on
Okay.
this person.
Okay, cool. I'm not afraid of this fucker.
This is just a
Um,
priest. Who's afraid of a priest?
Is there a way to get up to the battlements?
Make me a spot hidden roll.
Love to. That is a 39 under 65, I want to say. Yes, 65.
And so I'll put a choice in front of you, Bingley. You do see a staircase that you could use to climb up. You know that that is not going to be the fastest way, and you're not sure how long it's going to take for whatever is about to happen to happen. You also know about mathemagics, and that is something that could perhaps get you, maybe even a few of you, up there more quickly.
I have been waiting for this moment, JD. I would love to mathemagically occult my way up with assorted friends.
Sorry, you want to go up there?
I do.
Let's go up there.
Because someone is about to be murdered to Darcy.
And you want to make it 2? Perhaps 7?
No, I'd prefer to make it 1, but the one who was gonna... You understand.
I get it.
Thank you, Hollis. How do I mathemagic us up there?
I'm going to say that's going to be a POW roll, and that you are also going to spend 2 magic points.
Done. All right, my POW is 70, and that is a 65.
Incredible. So the one thing I have to ask is, we had an enthusiastic yes from Holly. How do Maeve and Apples feel about being teleported up?
I actually had a question. Could I pickpocket the gun that exorcised Xavier off of Bingley?
Make me a sleight of hand check.
I would like to oppose that.
We'll allow it.
Ah, damn it.
It's a 14 under 65.
It was a 55 over 35. That's very
Just-
disappointing.
Grab his ass.
Apples! Now is not the time!
Oh shit! Planning to leave you to be.
I think it's probably because Bingley may be going for the gun himself, as we are mathemagicking. So he's probably got a hand there already. Probably what happens.
holding
Hand
hands
on
now.
hand situation.
Yeah.
Apples, really. Now is not the time.
Sorry. Just thought I'd help.
How? Never mind. There's a person about to be murdered. So I like to think that if we are going up there, somehow Bingley is creating like stone steps from the ground and like putting it at just a point so you can just boop, 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 run up very fast.
Okay, I need to specify, and it's going to completely ruin the mood, but all I can think of is the third Hobbit movie. And Legolas jumping from brick to brick.
No,
to
I
brick.
think they're being held there. It's not not the physics of the no, it's more like creating a staircase out of nothing.
What a terrible, terrible movie from out of genre to pull in here, JD.
I love you. I love you all. So yes, you are all mathemagicked up to the battlements.
Oi, antler lad.
You don't.
Antler person, sorry.
Was not the issue I was taking with the. Okay.
No, but you were right. I don't know who this person is. So, antler person.
That was.
While while he's doing that, can I stealth like immediately upon getting up here? I want to go hidden.
I will allow that 110%. Make me a stealth check.
Hollis crouches.
Can I like oppose that to keep an idea or an eye on them? Because right now I don't trust Holly.
Make me a spot hidden.
Okay. $10 and 0 is 10, right?
Yes.
Okay. 10. I don't remember what my spot hidden was, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than that. Yeah, it's automatically 25 and I had it up to 45.
And
Mine
how
was a-
did you do?
Mine was an 18 under 25. So maybe I don't hide from Maeve, but do I hide from the rest?
That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, for the other 3 of you, I guess 4 of you, because we will include Clementine. We won't forget that Clementine is here along with you, Apples. As soon as you get up here, Holly just disappears, but Maeve, you're able to catch enough movement where you can kind of see where she has crouched down and is using the shadows to remain hidden.
I'll occasionally watch out of the side of my eye, but I won't stare because I don't want to drag attention.
And so, Bingley, you were attempting to get the attention of the figure in the robe.
I was.
I would actually like you to roll me a persuade check.
Could I make a case for charm?
I will allow it. Yep.
Okay. So it's more like, hello there, antler person. Top of the evening to you.
Mm-hmm.
So my charm is 60. I rolled a 0 and a 0. So I would like to push that roll, if I may.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe by taking a few steps forward, making my presence felt.
Yep. I will allow that.
What might happen if I fail?
You might get stabbed.
Great. Okay.
It's a possibility.
I mean, honestly, with friends like these, it's always a possibility anyway, so... Okay. That is a 53. Under 60.
Holy shit.
And so the first time you attempt to get this figure's attention, nothing happens. But the second, the figure who's been advancing on the person crouched that you still can't clearly see because they, much like Holly, are in shadow, pauses and turns to you. And the antlers almost melt away as they push back the hood. And Craig's familiar face looks at you and he says, "Whoa, Bingley, I didn't know you felt that way about me."
All right, so, I have a thought. It's a stupid thought, but I would like to make a case. Grandpa Ross told me how he was able to manifest a bomb once upon a time. Knowing math magic and hearing some of the chanting from before, I was wondering if I might summon an alarm clock.
I am going to allow that.
Thank you.
I'll have you roll in a moment, though, because before
Okay.
we do, I'm curious how, especially our 3 non-hidden people, are reacting to the fact that Craig is standing in front of you, a ceremonial knife in his hand, acting as though this is not an abnormal situation to be in.
I think Darcy had a hand on the back of Bingley's collar, trying to like pull him away. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then it's Craig, and I think Darcy just kind of blue screens a little bit, like truly like what is happening, but also like, oh hey. What? Wait, sorry, wait, hi, wait, what? Just like fully like still grabbing onto Darcy's or onto Bingley's collar, but like fully blue screened.
Incredible.
I think Apples looks at him and a weird kind of recognition spreads across her face and she smiles. She says to him, "I didn't realize I'd gotten the real one."
Maeve is reaching slowly behind her. There's like a pouch, a hip pouch that's kind of closer to her back that does in fact have garden shears because she's never without them and gloves. And she's just kind of slowly tracing her fingers across the handles. And she just kind of looks up and down. Huh. You had us all fooled, huh?
Surprise.
You played them very well.
Thank you. Acting is one of the talents that I have.
Who's that?
Are we all drunk? What's happening?
Isn't it obvious, Darcy? We're going to finish what needs to be finished.
Just like looking at Bing like, you getting any of this?
I am, but I'm focused. Sorry. Summoning.
No.
Bingley, I would
Yeah.
like for you to roll. Make me another POW check.
Okay.
And it's going to be another, we'll call it in this case, given the size of the object, 1 magic point.
Okay. All right. That is a. Am I muted? No. That is a 34 under 70.
And so the rest of you see Bingley looking down at his hands, and I don't know if it's even audible, but he is certainly mouthing something. And as you look in the direction he is looking, you see the air between his hands starting to shake and shimmer. And slowly out of that comes an alarm clock.
Bingley, what the fuck?
Bingley, put it down.
I think Bingley then throws the alarm clock.
Apples wants to try and catch it.
I
Or
would
like do that thing with a grenade when you jump on the grenade.
So he's throwing it up above Craig.
I'm gonna say
Volleyball spike.
make me a throw check, and I'm gonna say, and I will let Alex and or far away in if they would recommend a different role, but I'm thinking a fighting brawl check for you, Apples, to try and like knock that out of the air.
Sure.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, I'll try it. It's not good at it, but I'll try. That's a 9.
Got a 5.
Damn it.
My throw is 20. And this game wants me to throw things, JD.
What is happening?
Curses.
I'm fucking
I'm
dead.
short.
Incredible.
I'm
Oh
also
my God.
short.
But you've also given up the goat.
So much is happening.
So I have to ask Bingley, what
Yeah.
was your intention in throwing that?
So I'm trying to get Craig to look up. And I'm saying, as I throw it up, I say, "Time's up, Craig."
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely incredible. Interesting. Okay.
Because then if he looks up, I'd like to shoot him in the face.
Absolutely incredible. We love to see it. You know what? I think with this, I think Craig deserves a little luck roll. So we're gonna give that to him.
That's fair.
Okay. And that, we're not going to worry about what his numbers are. That's a 13. So
Damn, Craig.
Craig does not look up. I think actually the reason he doesn't look up is because of Apple's leaping forward. And given what Apples had just said to him of, I got the real one, and Also, the fact that you can tell he's also seeing Clem. His attention stays on the group of you rather than at the alarm clock that is sailing up above his head.
I still shoot him in the face.
Can I also try to interject that?
I will allow that.
With
I
my
think that
body?
is fair.
No, hold on,
Hand,
wait.
but, you know.
I was going to say, how is everyone feeling about this?
I
had a question, but it seems kind of irrelevant now.
was gonna say I'm on a mission, and so far nobody is stopping me, so I'm having a good time.
So yes, make me a firearms check.
Okay. I'm not
That's
great
what we
at
were
that.
doing.
Fight brawl again.
I'm
Or
more
dex?
going to say dex in this case.
What is?
My
Oh.
firearm skill is a 20. And I rolled a 22.
My dex is an 80, and I rolled a 15.
So what I'm going to say, Bingley, is
Happy to deal damage.
I'm actually going to say that you aim, and I'm going to give you the choice. So
Mhm.
you go to shoot Craig. Apples dives between you. Do you pull the trigger?
I am going to make a dex check to see if he catches it in time.
If he can see himself.
Yes. My dex is 50, so this is a coin toss. Here we go. Okay, well I see a 90 on the. It's a 91. No, I do not stop myself.
The question has become relevant, actually. The question from earlier has become relevant. Because I would like to try to stop this, because I've been watching Bingley, trying to, like, Bingley and Craig. And I don't know what's happening with this lad between these two, but apparently they're trying to shoot each other. When the alarm clock happened, you said that Bingley was saying words and chanting words, and that he was using mathemagics. Do I recognize any of the math that he was using? Because I don't know magic, but I do know math, and I want to see if I can recreate any of the stuff that he's trying to do.
Given the
Like, if I could put enough of that together.
Given the fact that the two of you have the same grandparent, I think it is fair to say that, well, you may be a little more skeptical. Like, these pieces, the math is mathing.
I also have a math skill.
And
so
that is why I think it is especially fair that
okay,
you are like, wait, no, stop. And yeah, I will let you. I'm also going to have it in this case be, well, what are you trying to do?
So in the moment, I think I'm trying to honestly probably pull the ground out from under one of them. Like, try to get one of them out of the way.
Okay.
Like, just pull apart the math enough that some of the bricks of the floor are loose and one of them trips. Like, just enough to get the gun to not be in Apple's face.
Okay. Make me a POW check.
Okay.
And burn me 1 magic point for messing with reality.
Okay, for sure. So that is a 48 under 60.
Okay.
I think I'm doing magic.
Tell me which one of them you move the ground out from under.
I think Bingley's the one standing still. So I think he's the one I can get a beat on. So I just want to pull like a brick out from under him, just trip him a little bit. Something.
Could I contest that?
Let me help you, Bingley.
With a dex roll. My dex isn't great.
He really wants to shoot his roommate.
I do.
He
Or
really wants to shoot
apples.
apples.
Or
Yeah.
apples.
Her art was that bad.
No.
Bad.
No.
It's
Can you be
because
nice
you're
for
trying to
20
help
minutes,
Craig. I'm just saying, I think in the moment he would reflexively try and like steady himself.
I will allow it.
Okay. It's a 46
magic.
under 50.
Successfully for the first time in my life. Thanks, I guess.
Do you want to give me a penalty die because I wasn't expecting it?
I think so. I think
Okay.
that's fair.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you for volunteering that.
I got a 36 under 50.
God.
With the penalty, so
The dice have a story they want to tell.
The
40
dice want Craig to die.
I listened to you for once, Bing. I listened to your magic stories.
no, don't worry about it, Darcy. We'll figure it out. I think. Bang.
And so, yes, a bunch of things happen pretty much simultaneously. You raise the gun, you are aiming it at Craig. Apples jumps between the two of you. You do not have a chance to stop yourself from firing. Darcy desperately tries to prevent this from happening. You feel yourself stumble. Your attention is still on Craig, even though Apples is between the two of you. And you pull the trigger, and Apples is the one who is hit.
I tried.
I don't remember how much damage my gun does. Give me a moment.
What a night.
We're having a chill one, huh?
Yeah, super chill. Super chill.
Just like a regular, normal one.
Is it a 38 or a 45? Just, for reasons.
I'm gonna go with a 38.
Okay.
Cry.
It's only a D8 then.
That's not
But-
enough to kill me outright. That's fine.
No, it'll be fine.
Did you roll a max?
That was an
It
8,
is
right?
max damage.
God.
Oh,
It is max damage.
You did still shoot her.
Beautiful.
Which is
Duh.
probably a major wound. Probably.
I think that is fair to say. However,
Oh, good.
I am not going to be making you make a Constitution check, Apples.
And why would that be?
Yeah, and just for
Try to
funsies.
explain?
you're gonna be
Because Clementine comes over to you immediately, and she grabs your hand, and you feel something pass through the two of you. And the wound is still there. It is still bad. It is still going to need medical attention. But it is not leaving you bleeding out in this moment. Because she is taking it into herself. And you see a similar wound start to open up and
No.
blood stain her clothes.
Can't take. You can't do that.
I'm not losing you, Apples. I'm not losing you.
She looks up at Clem and then over at Bingley. What? I can't lose her again. I can't lose her again.
I think Bingley is
Bingley, what the
very
fuck?
pale. Very pale. Very shaky. Apples, what? It's Craig. He's trying to...
She's not Craig.
She jumped in front of me.
I'm just gonna shove him out of the way and go over and kneel next to her and start rooting for herbs to try and help.
And I will say, Maeve, I mean, you saw the shot happen. you know that this should be really, really bad. This is a gut wound. And yet, when you start looking, it is not as severe as it should be. And Apples, you only take 4 points of damage. But Maeve, I would like you to make a medicine check.
Okay. That's a 2.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I'm going to say with that, like, you stabilize Apples even more. And we're going to take away 1 more point of damage.
Well, I'm actually
Holly.
glad I took something in medicine. Apparently, the standard is like just 1.
Yep, nope, it's bad. I was like, this could be interesting.
Standard's not good. Standard's not good in that one.
Holly, what are you doing as all of this goes on?
Oh, I'm scooting my way over to the dude who was cowering, checking their business out. When I get over there, I kind of crouch down to where they're cowering, right up in their business, and I say, "Your last name wouldn't happen to have anything to do with East, would it?"
They are like dirty and crying and panicked and just look up at you and say, my last name is Eastbrook.
Yes, I suppose it would be. JD.
Yep.
What would I roll if I want to recall from my varied and strange upbringing? If you're disrupting a ritual sacrifice and is removing the sacrifice without the sacrificial tool a way to stop something? And then secondary question, is this an event that if we disrupt it tonight, will they have to wait another 100 years?
Interesting. Give me an occult roll.
Let's see. It's not super bad. It's not the best, but it's a 10 under 28.
So Holly,
Mm-hmm.
ever pragmatic, you are considering your options and you are considering what the most expeditious choice would be. In this instant, you would know that in general, without the ritual tool, the ritual would not be complete. But I think you're hesitating a bit because you're not 100% sure what would leave this ritual finished. So it's possible you could shove this person off the side and they would die and they would not be able to be used in the ritual. You're not 100% certain, though, that that would not in some way fulfill the ritual because the exact mechanisms of this are not clear. That said, you would realize that the clock is ticking. There is a reason this has been in 100-year cycle, and that time window is closing. And so if you prevented this from happening, again, you're not 100% sure the window is tonight, but theoretically, the window would close in the near future.
You're my own little trolley problem, you know.
I'm your what? What does that mean?
Throw the switch. Throw the switch.
So here's the deal. And I'll tell you very fast and very short and very quickly. That man wants to kill you to end the world. There's 2 ways to stop that. The very quick and the maybe very messy.
What's the I don't know what that means, but I don't like it.
You're not meant to. We're not meant to. Either we get that knife away from that man, and we hope that when tonight ends, this is over.
Or
Do you love your family, Eastbrook?
yes. Yes, and I'd really like to see them again.
Would you like to see them again in a world run by men like that? Or would you rather they live in a world that's safe, but you're not in it?
What kind of a question is that to ask a person?
The question is this. If we can't get that knife, and when I say we, I gesture to the group. If we can't get that knife away from that man, you need to jump off of this roof before he can stab you. Or your family's gonna die. With everyone else. Okay? I don't want to do it to you. If I don't have to.
Okay. Shouldn't we be getting that knife?
You have to stay here because if you go over there to try to get that knife, he might stab you, right?
Right, I don't.
Right.
I don't want to die.
I know you don't. And we're going to try to make it so you don't. But you have to promise me, if we can't get that knife back, you will jump off this roof. If you do not promise me that, I will push you off right now.
Yeah, yes, I'll.
This is the world I'm talking about.
Yes, I will promise you that. And I'd like for you to make me a psychology roll.
I got points in that. 5.
He is absolutely lying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna push him off the roof.
Okay.
Wait, do I see?
Maeve, you are busy patching up apples right now, and so you do not see this. In fact, I think all of you are just focused on what is happening between Bingley and Craig, and Apples interposing herself in the middle. Make me a strength check, Holly.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me to do fighting brawl, but my strength is actually better. My strength is higher. My fighting brawl is only 40. My strength is 53. 50.
He rolled a 6. And so you try to push him, and he sees it coming, and he braces himself. And says, and this does get all of the rest of your attention, because he just goes, "What the fuck?"
How does Craig react?
Craig turns very slowly and looks over and says, "You almost did my job for me, Holly."
You gonna shoot him in the back, Bing?
No, I have a question.
Go for it. Go for it.
How much space is between Holly and ritual sacrifice victim Craig and then us?
So the two of them are right next to each other. They are right up against the wall. Craig has taken a step maybe closer. I would say he's parallel actually to you, Bingley. So-
Okay.
and the others are a little bit then behind.
I
Wait.
would love if I could, similar to how we got up here, I would like to mathemagic catapult Craig into the tower.
What?
Just
Well,
like send him flying so that he splats against the tower.
Interesting choice. Interesting choice. I'm just
I
curious.
think it could be a bit more surgical because I have accidentally shot a friend, and I don't feel good about that. So the gun is probably not how we're going to proceed.
We'll get to that. I'm
Good.
curious what the rest of you are doing in this moment.
Well, I was planning on whipping out my gardening shears and stabbing Craig in the back.
Yes.
Very similar thought.
Get the knife.
And so, with that, I'm just going to ask Apples. What are you doing?
I think she looks up at Bingley, like her hand like gripping her side where he shot her. And just says, "Please, please don't send her away. I can't survive her being gone again. Please, Bingley. Please, if we were ever friends, if don't send her away. Please."
Okay, so I'd like to yeet Craig, and then I would like to
Yep.
address that.
Before the eating commences, Maeve, I would like for you to Alex, let me know your thoughts. Would this fall under fighting brawl? To stab?
Oh, stabbing? Yes. Yeah. Fighting brawl, like gardening shears would, yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Just wanted to make sure. So yes, Maeve, make me a fighting brawl check.
Okay.
Roll to stab.
That is a no.
No pruning.
Nope. We'll say that if you do manage to eat him, I just kind of like fall into thin air.
Your timing's just a little off.
And so yes, Bingley, make me another POW check.
Okay. All right. It's a 68 under 70. I wish it was 69.
I do too. I that is tragic. Also, spend me another magic point on that.
On it.
Can I argue twin telepathy to assist?
Just get the vibes.
Alternatively, can you
Well, 'cause
spend a
he's
luck
been-
to make it 69?
Oh,
You know, I'll allow that.
Would you allow that? Because
I
I will
would allow
fucking
that.
do it right now.
I will allow that. And so what I'm going to say happens, and I think it also makes sense, is that Maeve, you stand up, you've got the gardening shears out, you go to stab Craig. He whirls around, grabs your wrist, and that is when the ground beneath him gets unsteady and he lets go. And at that point, he is catapulted by the collective force of both of the twins.
I like to picture it just like the ground becomes a little like cereal scoop, a little spoon, if you will, and just like levers up.
I think that is beautiful. And he does, in fact, splatter against the tower. And
Pity.
as his body falls, you see smoke start to come out of it.
I don't like that.
Oh, it's the thing.
It isn't becoming a form, but something was inside of Craig.
Could I make an occult roll to see if I can sort that out?
Please do.
Alternatively, can I go for where the knife landed when Craig splatted against the wall?
I will allow that too.
All right.
63 under 70.
Bingley,
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking about all of the stories that Grandfather Ross has shared with you. You're thinking about all of the digging that you have done into the occult. And you realize that there was a reason Craig didn't seem to be himself. You're realizing that you just killed your roommate who was possessed. And I would like for you to make me 2 sanity checks, one for
Okay.
shooting apples and one for just killing your roommate.
You know what? Fair.
Fair and valid.
Entirely valid. All right. So the first one is a 2. I apparently don't care that I shot apples. I feel terrible about that.
That's going to be 2 points of sanity loss.
All right. So that brings me down to 63. And
We were-
then
We were all yelling at JD to protect Craig for the last 2 sessions, and then now, congratulations.
well, would it comfort you to know that I rolled a 72, which means I fail. And I feel very bad about what I just did to Craig.
You
And that's
should.
why you're going to take 4 points of sanity loss for that. In fact, I'm going to have everyone who isn't Holly make a sanity check.
fair. I'm wondering if I listened to enough of those stories to realize what's happened, and I'm kind of hoping I didn't.
I'm just like, nah.
I'll give that to you.
86 over 45.
So 2
Oh,
points for
wait, no,
those of
36. Sorry.
2 points for those of you who succeeded, 4 points for those of you who did not.
Oh, that's gonna be 4. That's gonna be 97 over 60. So
Ooh.
Darcy's not doing too hot, actually.
Darcy has witnessed some horrors.
I was too
Darcy
busy bleeding
Just
out.
killed the
to-
guy they've been crushing on for how many semesters now? With magic they didn't know they could do?
One or two semesters.
Time. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
It's all
great.
good.
It's fine. It's fine.
And so the five of you plus Clem are standing there with also no first name, Eastbrook, who is looking at Holly in absolute horror and now looking at the rest of you in a level of horror. The world around you is still splintered. It isn't getting worse, but it's also not getting better.
When I pick up the knife, is it weird?
What a question.
Tell me
Is
the
it a
truth,
weird
JD.
knife,
Is it
JD?
weird?
Would you call this knife weird?
Would you label this knife mayhaps cursed? Mayhaps fucked up?
I
Mayhaps
would.
evil?
I would say that this is a weird knife. Not weird that Holly is holding it, but weird in feeling.
I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna point it up at the smoke. Say. So you haven't succeeded fully this time, it seems. You may as well go back.
The smoke does not react. It just coalesces right in the shadow of the tower, right where Craig's body made impact. And it just sits there.
Eastbrook? You should probably leave now.
Am I allowed to go?
As long as this smoke stays here, you should go.
I'm gonna go. Have a nice night. And
Think
he
about
is
what I
running.
said when you see your family.
He is running faster.
Can I roll a cult to try and get an idea of how we can send this thing back now?
I would love for you to do that.
Okay. Where's my... Oh, there. That is a 54 under 60.
And so, Maeve, you are someone who is so very connected to death. And you haven't had the space to even be aware of this because, hello, new follower, Art. You haven't even had the space to be aware of this because you saw so many things happen so fast. And you saw your friend get shot, you saw another friend do the shooting, you saw magic be used, which, honestly, given your experience recently with ghosts and Xavier, wasn't the weirdest thing you'd seen. But this place is coated in death. And that pit, especially, is just teeming with spirits. And you're taking all of that in. You're looking at the fractured walls of reality around you. And you know that getting rid of the smoke is not going to fix that. But breaking that blade that is in Holly's hand, that might be enough to fix it.
Holly?
And not fix it, but at least stop what is happening right now.
Destroy that. Yeah, the knife.
Apples. Clem looks terrified. And she starts shaking her head. And she starts saying, no, 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 no. This can't. It's going to send me back.
She looks up at Maeve and at Bingley, who I presume is still kind of standing over her, and she just says, you can't send it back. You can't send it back.
And who back break what? What is going on? We just killed a man.
Apples.
It happens, Darcy.
You've lived. Apples, you've lived your life this long without her.
You shut your mouth, Bingley. You shut your fucking mouth! What would happen if Darcy got hurt? Darcy won't hear anymore. You don't know. You don't understand. You don't understand. It's like someone got something out of my soul. You can't send it back. You can't. I won't let you. And she stands up, holding her stomach, and just looks at Maeve. Please, you can't. I can't lose her again. I can't.
Apples, she's not here.
She's right beside me, Maeve.
We're here. We're with you. She's not here.
This is just what her parents did. Apples, this is exactly what they did. This is exactly what they said to you. And then you forgot me.
I won't. I can't betray her again. I can't lose her again. I can't do this again.
Darcy is stepping between Apples and Bingley.
Apples, we have to. It's the only way.
Can't we just delay it? If it doesn't happen, the holes won't close, right? And she'll still be here, right?
This is delaying it.
Holly, please. She steps towards Holly. Please, don't.
I sympathize. I do. But it's one sister against the whole world.
Don't understand. I'd like to try to wrench the knife from her hands.
I will contest it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that for both of you. I'm going to say contested fighting brawl.
It is 20 under 35.
It is 19 under 40.
And so there are a few moments of struggle, and it isn't clear who's going to get the upper hand, but Holly manages to yank the knife out of your grip. Apples.
How close is Holly to the edge?
close enough that you could
Try to football
push
tackle her?
If you would like to football tackle her, I'm gonna say that will also be a contested fighting brawl in that case.
Hey, we go off this roof. It breaks, you die anyway.
And then I'll be with her forever.
You could do that without being selfish.
It's a 34
the
under
fun?
35.
27 under 40.
Jesus.
The girlies are fighting.
So you do full on tackle her, Apples, and you both hit the edge, but you don't go over. Instead, Holly, you realize what is happening. You can feel your center of gravity falling back, and you twist both of you off to the side so that you remain up on the battlements.
I would like to put my knee in Apple's gunshot wound.
That's fair.
I was gonna say sternum, but you don't get that anymore.
That is fair, and I think in Alex, you're muted.
Muted.
Hello. I would like to Mathemagic if I could.
I think that
We see each other.
is definitely fair. Are the other twins doing some twin telepathy?
Yeah.
You wanna take this knife?
debating saying it.
No, so I would like to get Apples in a position where she is restrained, if that is okay. So that there is no more fighting and no more attempts to take this knife, and we can break it.
Oh, my thought was to take the knife. Sorry, I misunderstood the telepathy.
You know what? I actually, well, yeah, sometimes the wires get crossed.
You know,
Actually, yeah, I'll say let's take the knife.
I like that.
you could take Apples. I could take the knife. We could.
No, I think our twin powers are best when, utilized in
Okay.
concert. So what my idea is I would like to cobble up something that looks like Apple's painting, the lady with the horns, and I would like to have that take the knife and just like implode on itself.
Can I say if I see that coalescing, Holly will reach up and stab it, just to put the knife in there.
Make me a power roll. In this case, I'm going to say this is going to cost 3 magic points.
Okay. Can we
I-
spend them between ourselves?
I was gonna say I have magic that I haven't used. Can I
Ooh.
put some of that in there?
In this case, I will allow the twins to split it between themselves.
Okay.
Let's say you need some magic, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
You want to do 2 and I'll do 1?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sure, I got you.
Okay, we'll do that in a POW check.
Yep.
There's a 30 under 70.
Would you like POW for me as well, or just?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
No.
Not so successful.
An 81 over 60.
That's
I could
not
luck it.
that's not optimal. You could luck it. I would
Ooh,
like you to luck it.
you should
know
luck
what?
that.
I think
Burn that luck.
it'll be a dusty amount of luck. How many is that? It was 21. That's
Ooh.
Worth it.
34. Okay.
And I think while we're
Be quick
doing
math.
this, and like if this all goes according to plan, Bingley will shout out something like, "Your painting was about humanity's fear of antlered things. But I think I understand it's more than that. I think it's about friendship and finding friends," and he just basically is then going to regurgitate out what Craig said about it. It's about the color yellow and autumn. It's so deep and meaningful, and it was my favorite piece in the entire exhibit. We care about you.
So The form of your painting comes alive, Apples, and it forms right by Holly. And Holly moves to put the knife into it. And time slows. And Clementine looks at you. And she looks at the antlered woman. She looks back at you and says, "We could stay here together. You could stay with me."
I guess that would solve the problem of the rest of the world, wouldn't it?
But then Mom and Dad would lose both of us.
They lost me a long time ago. They lost me the same time they lost you.
Will you stay?
Of course I'll stay.
And she reaches out to take your hand. And I'm going to ask you to make a POW roll. But I'm also going to give you a choice depending on the results of that.
I rolled a 1. Just a 1. Under something. 60.
So as Clementine takes your hand, Apples, you realize a few things. The two of you could stay here. I mean, as you look around, you wouldn't be the only spirits haunting this foundation, but this is your twin. And you could be more than that. You could be the figure you created in your painting if you blended your souls together. And that, well, you wouldn't be a god, but you would certainly be powerful enough to protect the two of you. And you could never be separated.
I mean, yeah. We're the same person anyway. What difference does it make?
And so several things then happen at once.
Hey, JD.
Yep.
I can see Clementine, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I see the outreaching of the hand?
You are definitely too focused on the math of magic. This is
fuck the
happening
math of magic.
simultaneously. So
Okay,
yeah,
then never mind.
This is going to happen without any warning. I think the only person who maybe would notice this is Maeve.
You can see her now?
You can't, but you can see Clementine reaching out to take something.
Apples? Don't. Apples, we're here, we're real. She's not here.
That's what Mom and Dad said. And they were wrong.
You can
make a
join her
sanity
later
roll?
whenever it's time. It's not time now.
Why not? Give me a reason, Maeve. Why not?
Why now?
She's waited for me for so long.
And she'll be there whenever you're older and you're ready.
I can't betray her again, Maeve. What kind of sister would I be?
It's not a betrayal to keep living. She should want you to live and be happy and enjoy your life.
What does Clem's face look like when Maeve says that?
Clem's face looks heartbroken. And I don't think you can gauge whether that is at the thought of you going back to your life or you leaving that life.
I just make a sanity roll. I don't know what she'd do. I don't know if she's too far gone.
I think that's 110% fair.
Your sister, it's the end of the world, baby. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Antler time.
Incredible.
I'm sorry, Maeve.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
And so several things happen at once. The Mathemagics twins are busy creating a facsimile of the antlered woman from your painting. And in that exact moment, like as that form is coalescing, as Holly goes to stab in the knife, Clementine takes your hand apples and the two of you merge together. And you feel a peace you didn't know you could feel, a wholeness that you thought was gone forever, and a power that you never could have imagined. You stand taller. You are now at least 6 feet tall, and the world seems so easy to move through. And you're ready to experience what this freedom feels like. And at that exact same moment, the knife goes into the creature made of mathemagic, and it shatters. And you feel reality starting to knit back around you. You see it starting to knit back around you. Apples and Clem, you are left in the husk of this castle. But you know you can move around more. You know you're not trapped here. The world's no longer fracturing, the forest's no longer splintered. You're ready to experience that, and you're ready to run and just test out what it feels like to have nothing stopping you. The other four of you find yourselves back in the dorm.
Do we remember?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Say, I probably
Where?
have Apples' blood on my knee with the tattoo.
Yep.
Where exactly in the dorms would you say? Anywhere in particular?
Up Bingley's room,
Okay. Having a normal one.
having a normal one.
What just happened?
What the fuck?
I check my phone.
It is midnight.
Did we stop it?
I don't know.
We stopped something.
There's
still-
apples.
I think Apple's made a choice.
That happened?
Yeah.
She picked her sister, her dead sister, over the world.
Over her friends. We're still here. Unless this is another hallucination, so
Darcy needs to prove it's real. He tries to summon an alarm clock. I'm not being funny. Darcy genuinely thinks they've been hallucinating this entire time.
Make me a mathematics roll of power.
Jiminy Christmas. That's a 68 over 60.
That is rough, buddy, but also I'm going to be kind and say I'll let you spend one luck.
Can I look
Make it
it?
a 69.
You are a kind and benevolent eldritch being.
Nice.
And so I think what we see there is Darcy in a desperate attempt to prove to themselves that everything that just happened actually happened, latches onto what feels natural, and that is numbers. And there's this moment of, that's not how numbers work, that's not how the world works. And then an alarm clock appears in your hands.
Holy shit.
And I think that is where we're going to pan away from everyone. And you are each going to tell me what happens with your characters in an epilogue. Where do we go from here?
Therapy.
Valid.
I mean, yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
For Bingley, at least, we will say.
Well, I will say you came within 2 points of breaking me in terms of sanity loss, so I think he would recover eventually. With some therapy and whatnot. I don't mean to go first because I think Darcy, we might have a shared epilogue, if that makes
Okay.
That's
sense.
fine. That's fair. You can
I was like,
Hey,
I can
piece of
start
it.
with Holly if that
Yeah,
helps
we'll
you
start with
guys.
Holly. I think
ahead.
that is good. I would love to know what happens with Holly from here.
Well, Holly's fine. My sanity is largely intact. I think Holly kind of cleans herself up, takes a deep breath, And she's going to live the rest of her life as if it didn't happen. She goes back to her family at Northgate Manor, and she takes down all of the things in Arthur Northgate's room. And she puts them away with the printout of that long, never-ending record note that she'd been taking since she'd gotten to the university, complete with all the details of what happened that night. And she ties it up all in a nice little string, puts it in the box, and she lays her family's burden to rest. She goes back to school. She gets her degree. And she, without any kind of doubt that she did the right thing, lives her life. She becomes a forensic scientist. And if she goes back to the art gallery and Apple's painting is there, she does take it with her because she did pay for it. And she takes it with her wherever she moves to.
That is beautiful. And horrifying, but also beautiful. How about Maeve?
Maeve goes back to her old family home, or what's left of it, uses her inheritance that the people there still aren't entirely sure she deserves to have, because many of them are in agreement that they think that she is the reason her parents are dead. But there is no evidence of this, so nobody can charge her with anything. So she takes their money, rebuilds their house, has a little garden, and for a job, she goes off to work in the Alnwick garden and works with poisonous plants and teaches other people about them. And sometimes she still has nightmares, both about her parents' burning bodies walking towards her and her father's harsh words, even after death, knowing they are just waiting for her to join them so he can continue on. And also of Apple's reaching out her hand.
And I'm gonna say, Maeve, that it isn't until you have one of those dreams that you realize in that moment, as reality splintered, that you saw what apples became. And it's up to you what you take away from this, but you saw a look of peace and joy and power in her eyes in that split second before reality righted itself and you were back at the door.
Hmm. We didn't send her back?
We're going to also pull in one last piece on that, but before we do, I'm curious about the Mathemagics twins.
So I think Bingley walks out of this a fundamentally changed human being.
I would hope so in a lot of ways, given what he did.
Yes.
So true, bestie.
I think the thing that hurt him the most was not splattering Craig. Although that felt bad, and he didn't enjoy it. I think the thing that hurts the most is he feels like he let Apples down in that moment. That maybe if they had been better, or if he had been a better friend, a more understanding person, he might have been able to break through. And that, I think, sits with him for the rest of his life. How that manifests, I think he goes a little off the deep end in terms of conspiracy theory, paranormal stuff. Probably definitely tries to keep in touch with Maeve, at least in terms of occult things. But like that weird sort of acquaintance from a while ago that like shows up once every 6 years and is like a little like, hey, how's it going? What are we doing? Blah, 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 blah. Need your help on this thing, blah, 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 and then gone. He's not trying it to be that, but like he's being pulled in so many directions. So I think he really spends his life as a paranormal investigator, parapsychologist, hunting Apples down. Not in like a I'm going to hunt you down, but like I want to find you and say I'm sorry. And I don't know that he ever gets that chance, but I think as part of that parapsychology thing, he's probably doing what Grandpa Ross did and like establishing some sort of group or society to help further his aims in that regard. And I hope Darcy's there too.
You couldn't get rid of me if you tried.
Good.
I think as much shit as Darcy has always given Bing about his occulty shit and his ghostery and stuff, after this they don't give him nearly as much. For obvious reasons, I should hope. But like it they go a little more willingly than he would expect into, hey, join me on this paranormal hunting show, podcast, whatever that we're doing. Because what Apples was saying, even though they could only hear like half of that conversation, it kind of stuck with them because what happened that night sucked. It was weird and it hurt my brain and I hated every second of it and it sucked. But I still have Bing. That's all I really care about. So I'm not letting this fucker out of my sight. So help me God. So they will take their degree on the road. They will, online school the rest of this. It's fine. Whatever they have to do to be where Bingley is. Is all they care about at this point. The world could literally burn. It might again. But they saw what losing somebody like that, somebody like what Bing is to them, did to their friend. And they're not about to let that happen to them, but they're also not about to let that happen to Bing. So, you thought we were inseparable before.
We just became everybody's problem. in a way that we weren't already.
And that then brings us to apples. And so, what do things look like for her and her sister?
If I may, I
Oh,
think
yes.
that first off, the painting sometimes when the moon is sitting just right, when the light hits it just right, there are moments where the tears seem to fall. There are moments when the eyes seem to follow. It's not menacing. It's just there. Sometimes in the gardens where Maeve is working, she'll see hoof prints in the dirt as they're traveling across all of the continents. It doesn't take long for Bingley to find traces, at least. One day, maybe even wakes up with paint somewhere on his person. And I think now combined as one, there's almost an aspect of bringing that artistic energy everywhere. Sometimes it means strange plants are growing. Sometimes it means that water falls in such a way in this one area that it creates this strange patterns, almost like the Jesus and the tortilla, if you will. But instead of Jesus, it is a woman veiled with horns, antlers, crying tears of blood. And they spend eternity together, or however long, just being together. And it is an eternity born of love. And whatever evil, whatever energy previously had built the many-horned lord does not touch them the same way. Because their creation, their inception was pure and beautiful in its way.
And I think that is why the energy of the town, for the first time in centuries, starts to change. That there was this omnipresent weight just hanging over it, waiting to be tapped into and searching for the right key to make that happen, with these two ultimately failed attempts. And the first attempt ended in violence, it ended in death. But this, as you said, ended in a choice made out of love. And the forest that was previously terrifying, that was avoided at all costs. Now people go and they leave offerings to the veiled, antlered woman. They carve initials on tree trunks. They go to remember the people who they love and to make sure that that love will always be commemorated. And that, I think, is where we will end this final session of Shadows Between the Stacks.
Yeah.
That was Wild Ride.
How did we make it cute in the end? How did we do that? What happened?
Emotional
Wait,
roller coaster.
Purposeful violence in the right moments.
So true, bestie.
And so with that, thank you all for bearing with me for running a little bit late tonight. I'm going to give each of you a chance to remind everyone of who you are, how awesome you are, and the amazing things that you are doing. Then we will raid someone. But to dive right in, Alex, you are up first.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm sorry for what I did as Bingley.
No, you're not.
I apologize. I'm Mightiest Finn on Twitter. I'm Mighty Finn on Blue Sky because that's the one I wanted originally, but didn't get a chance to take. What am I doing? What do? I write games in the backwards tabletop role-playing universe. So if you like post-apocalyptic gothic things, check out Backwater and Backroads, which are the two games that are out. Also check out Backwoods and Back Channels, which is coming out soon on Kickstarter. We have a page. It's a whole thing. We've had actual plays to preview those, including one right here on this very channel. Yes, Mowgli, it was very good. We've got some more coming out in the next times. Those will be on my page. Otherwise, I'm running Cold Iron here on this very channel every other Tuesday. We've got some changelings. We've got a murder. We've got zombies, ? We've got stuff, drama, things, fun. It's a good time. We got 4 monsters and Will. Check us out. I think this next Tuesday, right? Tuesday we're playing? Okay, yep. Otherwise, other things are coming out, but they're not announced, so check my socials and I will tell you when they happen. Thanks, bye!
Incredible. Farah.
Hello, my friends. I am Farah Sarkaya on all of the socials, and I have played Apples tonight. You can usually find me over at Crossroads Games. You can find me here. You can find me at 12-Sided Stories. You can find me at a bunch of different places. We have a premiere next Wednesday with Backwards, a showcase. Very exciting.
That's right.
I'm also, I got you. We also have my second GM session on a stream the week after that, which is very exciting. So check out Lacuna, that I am kind of obsessed with because it's really fun. I'm also in Cold Iron. I'm also in another thing in next week here. Next week? It's next week. And a bunch of other stuff. So follow me on the socials and check me out because I do fun stuff and tell good stories.
All very true. We love it. Julia, local menace.
Hi, I've been Holly Haley Hollis. She does not regret anything that she's done. The world keeps spinning and her family is at peace, and thus que sera sera. You can find me at Hexwet on all social media platforms, and I am going to be back Sunday for a recording session of Academy H, where I will be playing Lyra Kroll, which is the Janus playbook from our ongoing Masks campaign. And that's going to be a good little time. We're having a grand old time over there. We're gearing up to go fuck up a big bad. So, should come see what that's about. And then every other Tuesday, I'm also here as Kelly Violet with Class Reunion, which is also a good feral time, honestly.
All, again, factual statements, and we love to see it. All right, Kit.
Is it me? Hi, I am Kit. You can find me places on the internet at Kit Roll everywhere except for the one bad place where it is Kit Roll Cause. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll get them all together eventually. I have been your Darcy Keating for the evening. And oh man, where even will I be? Tomorrow I'll be over on Lost Caravan with the first of a 2-shot of sagas DM'd by the creator. So that's going to be fun and dope and awesome. So come check that out tomorrow and then also the next Thursday. Not this Saturday, but next I will be again also on the Lost Caravan. Lots of Lost Caravan this month. With Fatal Ascension, our Fabula Ultima campaign, where I am just a little robot who has never done anything wrong in its life. No war crimes, no arson. I don't know where you got that idea. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. And then you can also catch us, me and the lovely cast of Bloom and Blight, wherever you get your podcasts. Episode 2 comes out tomorrow. So if you have not caught up on the 2-part premiere, I don't know, maybe go check it out. See if you like magical girls, if you like tragedy, if you like queer storytelling, etc. Bloom and Blight, wherever you get your podcasts. It's awesome. It's sick. It's been really fun to work on, and I'm excited to show you more episodes. So check it out. And I believe that is all that I am in, until a thing that I don't know if we're allowed to announce yet.
That is very fair. And that means follow them on social media so you can find out what those cool things are.
Yeah. Follow me on the social media. Don't worry about it. Exactly. It's Kit Roll everywhere that matters.
And last but certainly not least, Chrissy.
Oh, hi, I'm Chrissy and Keller on all the socials. I kind of lucked out on that aspect. And yeah, I have been Maeve. I also have been taking a very long extended break from heavy gaming. So I have very little to announce game wise. And what little I do have, I don't know when it's coming out, so I can't really announce it. But I am sometimes in things, sometimes with Crossroads games, sometimes doing Wonder Home with Dork Lord Canada. I know that will eventually be coming out. I just don't know when. So fun things to be coming out eventually at some point. But either way, you can follow me on socials where I am making a lot of dirty jokes and just all in all being a little gremlin, a little internet gremlin. Yeah. Now that Baldur's Gate's coming out, maybe if I have free time between work and my coursework, I can stream that. But aside from that, yeah, just existing, and yeah. So yeah, you can follow me if you happen to want to try and catch me in anything.
And I highly recommend it.
Which you should, correct?
Yes. And last but not least, because I have been told that I must do this first, I just want to thank this absolutely incredible cast for coming along with me on this story. I was so excited to get each and every one of you at this table. So thank you. This was everything and so much more than I could have ever hoped for. I will be back only a few times over the next week. It is actually a pretty light time for me. We are not going to go through my whole, in general, packed schedule, but I don't know. I'll be back for Academy H, where I play Casimir Bright, who is having a fine time and everything is cool and chill and nothing bad is happening. And he is doing super well. Monday, you can find me with Tales from the Table for SCP, A Crumbling Foundation, where I am a ball of rage. I'll be here for Cold Iron, which I am delighted for. I play a normal scientist. It's fine. I will be off Wednesday. I will be running Redacted, our psychological horror game, back here next Thursday. And then I will be back for Thy Kingdom Come, our theocratic dystopian Urban Shadows game on Friday. And then I can't announce what, but there's a little premiere of something happening on the 12th. I don't know. I can say more next week. Stalk me on social media and I'll be able to share it with you. I'm getting to premiere a new character in an ongoing campaign that I am delighted to join. And that is all I'll say for now. I have a few things coming up with the Lost Caravan and other games here, but that will take us here all night and we have already gone long. So it's going to be fun. So come back on Sunday for Academy H, and that will be my next time streaming, actually. So, yeah. I think with that, my lovely cast, in a moment I'm going to ask you to say goodnight. But before I do, I'm going to ask those of you in the chat to hang on a little bit longer. We're going to set up a raid. For who, I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm going to figure that out while I take us to the thanks for watching screen. Come along, be nice to whoever we visit, and come back to watch more of our content because it is all very good. We have so many incredible, talented casts, much like the one you saw here tonight. And we will be back in just a few days. Say goodnight, cast.
Good
Good night,
night.
Cass.
Yes.
Good night.